There's no place I'd rather be than here with you. That's all I
Okay, so I'm here in LA, I'm at my Airbnb, I'm about to start getting ready for the day. I feel like I'm gonna do kind of like a colorful eye. I don't know, I feel like just having some color. I have this palette that I've been playing with, like it's a really cute travel palette. So I feel like I'm gonna do something with like the green and the blue shades just to get some like color on my eyes. And then other than that, kind of clean and simple. My hair's already done, I'm just like out of hair in my bonnet. But I'm gonna start getting ready and then I'm gonna head out and go do some shopping. So I just finished my shopping and I am here at the Beverly Hills Hotel going out to lunch. It's one of my favorite places. Like the Cabana Cafe is just beautiful. The food's fine. It's like nothing to write home about, but it's more of like a scene in the ambiance and just like the beauty of it and just being a quintessential LA place. So I'm just gonna hang out, get an overpriced salad, enjoy the views, have some drinks. It's a bougie self-care day, so I'm just kind of sticking with that theme. Just finished lunch, just kind of finishing my wandering around. I stopped by this really pretty wall of flowers that they have a lot of these in LA, but they're super cute, so I'm gonna stop here and take some pictures. I already propped up my tripod, that's how I'm talking to you guys with no hands, it's already set up. So I'm just gonna do a few quick snaps, hopefully they come out cute. No one is on the street, luckily, so I don't look like a crazy person. Anyway, I'm just gonna grab some shots and then continue on my way. Hey, so I was about to start editing this video. I was kind of just like going over the footage and like deciding what I wanted to edit and organize it and like doing my cute little LA vlog. Then I realized like I left out a part that I wasn't sure I wanted to talk about just because I usually do try to keep things like positive and happy, and it was kind of like really a negative, scary experience. So I was kind of just gonna like leave it out, but then I just felt like it wouldn't be a super honest video because, you know, things happen to me, things happen to Black women, so I decided I was gonna share a little bit about a stain on my beautiful bougie day in LA. So when I first like got to like Beverly Hills Rodeo Drive area, I was filming some of that B-roll that you saw in the intro of like the Chanel store, like the Rodeo Drive sign, and I noticed a man start walking across the street toward me in a very like aggressive, menacing fashion. And like if you're a woman, you know what that body language is, and he's just like kind of high-tailing it toward me, and I was like, okay, whoa. And as he got closer, he started like talking, but at that point I was looking for an exit, so I don't remember what exactly he said, but it was something along the lines of like, oh, let me talk to you, mister, like whatever, right? But he wasn't saying anything bad, but his body language was like, I need to get out of here. And so I was in front of a store that was closed, so there wasn't like a quick exit, but then across the street there was like the famous Rodeo Drive stairs, so I was like, okay, there's always a lot of people over there, so I can like run across the street. I barely made the light, ran across the street. And then he was kind of following me, but then the light changed and there was like a lot of traffic, so we couldn't like get across. But he definitely started like screaming things at me when I ran about, you know, you don't need to be afraid of the scary black guy, and like that's what's wrong with your woman today, and like all that kind of nonsense, right? So I was a little bit shaken up, but like I got to a safer part of the street, which by the way, it's like Beverly Hills, like right by Rodeo Drive. Like it's not like it's an unsafe neighborhood in the middle of the day, like ever. So I was like, I don't even know what that was. But I got to an area that was more crowded and had more foot traffic and open stores. Kind of just wandered around there, kept an eye to see if I saw him still behind me. Didn't see him for a while, so I was like, okay, relax a little bit, go about my business. Went to get my bracelet, went to 14 Karats, and I knew I was gonna go have lunch at the Beverly Hills Hotel after getting my bracelet. So it's kind of like meandering around outside the store trying to decide if I should like walk to the Beverly Hills Hotel, which would be like a far walk, like it's like over a mile. It would have been like maybe 45 minutes or something, like a pretty walk, and I would get the exercise. So I was like, do I wanna walk that far, or do I wanna just like take a cab? So I was kind of just like standing around, like, I guess looking at the walk on Google, like, okay, how far is this walk versus like a 10-minute cab ride? Like, I don't know what I want to do. And then I look up and I see him come around a corner and he locks eyes at me. It's the same guy from before. Comes around a corner, he immediately recognizes me and locks eyes, and then starts the same super menacing speed walk toward me. And like, he's really like gunning it, like he's walking toward me really fast. And so I immediately turn and start speed walking in the opposite direction. And now we're on like a busier street. Like there's a lot of street cafes, there's a lot of stores, there's a lot of people doing outdoor dining. So I was like, he might not do anything crazy, but his body language was saying like, this can go either way. And I was like, I'm not gonna, you know, sit around and find out. And also like, I couldn't like run as fast as I did before, just because it was a much more crowded street with outdoor dining. So there were like more obstacles. Like if I was trying to just like dart, I probably would have tripped over something and fell. So anyway, so I start speed walking. He's gaining on me. Like he's tall, he has long ass legs, and I'm short, so like my strides just don't go that far. And so I just like feel him getting closer, so I duck immediately into the nearest coffee shop I can find that's open. So I duck right in. At this point, he's like right behind me, so I duck right in. A few seconds later, he ducks in behind me. And I kind of back all the way. I don't turn around, I don't turn my back on him. I back all the way up toward the cash register, and there's a woman in line placing a coffee order. And so I kind of get next to these women by the register, and then he's still kind of standing in the doorway talking about like, what's wrong with you, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with me, right? Like what's wrong with me, anyway. And that is when I kind of decided to just get a little more hostile and loud and like call attention to the situation. And so that's when I said, why are you following me, you creep? Like, you've been following me for blocks. And he was just saying, I'm just trying to get your attention. And he's doing the whole like, you know, black women don't know how to pay attention to a good black man when one's in their face and just want to run away from us, and giving me that whole spiel. And I was like, you need to stop following me. You need to get the hell away from me. And anyway, like, so I'm kind of facing off in like a defensive stance because I'm like ready for him to attack. I don't know if he's crazy. Like, he clearly followed me in broad daylight very aggressively, so he might be a lunatic. And anyway, he eventually turned around and left the store. And so I'm standing there visibly shook up. And the thing that like bothered me most, not only in that moment of harassment, it was really how oblivious everyone else was to it. And I say with a caveat because when this man left, there was another customer in the store, another black guy, who came up to me and he was like, wow, miss, are you okay? That was crazy. And then I wanted to punch this guy in the face because I'm like, oh, so you clearly saw the whole thing and didn't intervene on my behalf until the threat was neutralized. Like, you had to get up now and be the hero after the crazy guy left. But when you were watching me, like, be prepared to defend myself against this dude, like, you didn't want to get up then. Like, you want to wait till everything's all good now just to be like, I don't even know. So I was like, yeah, I'm good. Thanks for nothing. I'm good. And so that was one annoying factor because he acknowledged what was happening, saw the whole thing, but interjected in it after there was no longer a threat and he knew that I was fine. It's like, well, what's the point of that? And then on the other, probably more annoying factor, I don't know which one was more annoying. The two women, the customer who was in line and the cashier who was taking her order, didn't even acknowledge my existence or what was happening. And I don't want to say that they like ignored me. I think that they just honestly were oblivious to a black woman being in danger. I think that they honestly didn't see it and that I was honestly invisible. They might have even saw it and assumed, oh, they know each other because he came in surely behind me and we're both black. I don't know, but I know that they did not even acknowledge the fact that I was in a defensive stance screaming about a man following me, and the woman who worked at the store didn't even look up. And it just like really like, it was upsetting, you know? And so like I stood there for a few minutes after this other black guy who tried to be the fake ass hero came and then left, and I was standing in the back of the store for a few minutes, the other customer left, and then this one still notices me standing there. It's probably been like 5 minutes later at this point. And she's like, oh, did you need something? And I did not swing on her. I told her, I was like, no, I guess you didn't see that someone was following me and I came in here to hide. And she's like, oh, I didn't see, but oh, okay. And then she just like goes in the back of the store to go get something. Like, couldn't give a shit, right? Just didn't even care. So that to me was just like, it just felt so like disrespectful, and it just made me feel very like abandoned and invisible, you know. And you would think that if you're in a nice part of town and you're dressed right and like you're shopping and like you're a potential customer, or even if you're not any of those things, if you're a woman who needs help, you would think that you could get that help, but I couldn't, or I didn't. So that's just what happened to me. And then anyway, I stayed there. I called my husband. I waited a few minutes, kind of poked my head out and made sure this guy was gone. And then, yeah, I took a cab to my next stop, because after that, I just didn't want to walk anymore. And so like I was gonna leave that part out just because it was really upsetting, and also like I felt like it kind of ruined the vibe of the day. But you know, I wanted to be honest about my experience, about the good and the bad things that happened to me. And it's also just like a reminder that we as women are, you know, you can be having your fun, you can be like doing whatever you want to do, and like being safe, being aware, being in good neighborhoods, being in broad daylight, paying attention, and that still doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be protected. And then when you're a black woman, I think that it just reminds you that you're a lot more vulnerable and a lot more invisible, because you know, you could really need help and people just won't see it, or just won't like care that much. So that was that. And now I'm gonna go back to the rest of the fun stuff in the vlog. I just wanted to like take a second to share that with you guys, obviously because it was upsetting and I am human. And yeah, like I just wanted to kind of take a quick editor's note before I get back to it. So, and now back to the regularly scheduled programming. Thanks for watching.